The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host who loves to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, we're up 5.5 points on the S&P cash, up 115 on the Dow. Nasdaq's up 14. Russell's up 14. Crude oil's down a quarter. And it's an interesting day. We did get the trade deal signed. A good time for all at the White House. And I've heard a lot of analysis that I probably wouldn't spend more than a second on, other than it's so wrong. Somehow we've turned this into, it's horrible, it's the end of the world, America lost, China won. I don't know where people get this stuff, but I think it has something to do with other than the facts, and maybe they were hoping for something else. I've heard nothing but for, what, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, about how this is all going to end up in a ball of fire and a nuclear war. Trade deals never amount to anything. Nothing ever happens that's good. Oh, it's just horrible. If you were one of those people and you want papal dispensation for that, you can call in today at 877-927-6648, and I will give you absolution. I can tell you I didn't know how it was going to end up, but I can tell you that we probably couldn't allow it to continue, and that is China dominating everything, and too many people just saying that we should just give up, just lie down and die. No, the Chinese are too powerful. We're weak. In fact, we're not only weak, but we deserve all we get. We're a horrible country. I've had nothing but that for about a year and a half. And you know what? It's not a bad day. It's a good day for America. Now, let's separate that from the market, because a lot of people make what I think is a critical mistake, and that is that something happens in the economy and the market instantly responds all the time. There is a thing called sell the news. And I kind of said years ago that if this happened and it got signed, I would probably sell the news. Well, I sold the news. Markets go up, markets go down. It has nothing to do with what political party you actually decide to vote for in the upcoming or in past elections. Markets go up with good and down with economic news. They are a forward-looking indicator. And a lot of times there's expected news. And for years and years and years before the Fed was involved in all this, we'd have some kind of good news and the market would sell off. And new traders would scratch their head and ask why. Well, it goes back to Jesse Livermore. He loved doing one thing, and that is selling when there was a market that he could sell into, and he would buy when everybody was throwing their stocks away. And of course, you get good news like this, it's not uncommon to get some kind of high. And as a trader, we need to separate both our political ideology, any of our dogma, and actually think about, well, is it time to sell the news? That has been a way to trade the market for 150 years of recorded history, at least in the United States. And at least I did that in my longer term holds. We sold both Micron and Qualcomm today, made a handsome profit. I think we bought Micron last time down around 45 or lower. So what do we get? 16 bucks out of it? Not a bad deal. So yeah, 16. What are it? 12, 11. Okay. Anyway, a nice profit. I'm looking into next year, or this year actually, and after you have a big run, you can probably expect less and less. You can probably expect diminishing returns. What will happen though is you'll get a few stocks, a Tesla or something else that just goes to the moon. Generally, those particular stocks have a lot of promise, but don't have a lot of profits. Everybody kind of puts their pie in the sky movement on those and says, well, things must be good. The stocks doubled and tripled and everything else. So, but again, that takes us back to 1999, where the market was actually full of Teslas. That's where stocks had zero ability to ever make money, and some that could. But you had the pullback just the same. But a word of warning, and also separate your dogma from what goes on in the market, which is markets go up and down. Don't get so fixed in one kind of blinding belief that the markets only go up or are only going down, and especially the prognostication of economists who told us nothing but death and famine was leading us on for a year and a half. It did not happen. So are we going to pay attention to those same folks again? I mean, they could be wrong once, but my guess is they're going to continue to be wrong because it doesn't have a lot to do with making markets or making money in the markets. They're out there just pontificating ad nauseum, and no one's really keeping the balls and the strikes. Well, we're in a business, we can't avoid that. Our bottom line, the broker-dealer statement each month or even on a daily basis tells us whether we're right or wrong. But that's it. Anyway, absolution for those folks that were wrong, 877-927-6648. I will bless you today if you want absolution. What else do we have out here today? Well, volume is okay, a little lighter than yesterday. Could we still go back up to 3320 on the S&P cash? I think we can. If we have a lot of people short, there's one more move. The Tech Insider, my longer-term newsletter, though, is certainly, I look at sell when you can, not when you have to, because I'm assuming that people may only check once a day, that they can go and not have to look at the market all day long, that I will take the risk-reward setup for not being able to get to a terminal and trade in the next 30 minutes, like I think the daily newsletter really needs to be. So we'll talk about that more going on. But a great day for America, but don't confuse that with the markets. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1919, a fiery, hot mess of molasses floods the street of Boston, killing 21 people and injuring scores of others. The molasses burst from a huge tank in the United States Industrial Alcohol Company building in the heart of the city. After a 6-year investigation that involved 3,000 witnesses and 45,000 pages of testimony, a special auditor finally determined that the company was at fault because the tank used had not been strong enough to hold the molasses. Nearly $1 million was paid out in settlements of the claims and started what we have now, which is class action settlements on huge disasters. Of course, it's a very interesting case because, of course, it did or was the first big settlement of any kind like this. And, of course, now this is something that is regularly happens. But quite the mess, though. Took a long time. You can imagine what a massive tank of molasses in the heart of Boston would be. Can imagine. I don't know. Well, I guess it's in the wintertime, so maybe it was a little bit firm. Don't know. On this day in 1919. Let's go ahead and start looking at some charts. Could we get a little pullback? Are we seeing some moves that look like we could get fairly close to the high? A 1-to-1 in Tesla Motors for its ABC. It already went through the 1-to-1, which was $510. 551 was the 1 to 382. We kind of got 547.41. A little bit of a pullback today and not much in the way of volume. So kind of a quiet day so far in Tesla. You've got a lot of gaps down below. Would 440 be beyond the scope of reason back here if it pulled back? You've got a low at 435.31. One of the things that has happened, in fact, I'll zoom in on it so you can actually see these little black things that look like the end of a match on the end of the candles is the percentage of shorts that day. It doesn't mean that the people went home that day with those shorts. But during the day, those were the amount of shares that were shorted as an initiating short. Still had lots of volume yesterday. What you would like to see is a little pullback and a move back, maybe back to retest that 547. Could it just fall apart and come back down to 430? It could, but again, nobody's quit shorting this one yet. What we're looking for are highs out here that are probably have the opportunity to go down a great deal without a lot of shorts that want to buy it on the way down. We want everybody to back away if you do want to be short. We have seen some fairly heavy shorting in Boeing over the last 5 or 6 days. Certainly has picked up on the sideways movement. No real sign. In fact, looks more like someone's in there buying at 330 every day. Even if the market pulls back, it's not uncommon to see a stock like Boeing actually go higher, especially in the early phases of a pullback. It's pretty easy to engineer a short squeeze, and if you're new to short squeezes in the market, I will show you one that was pulled off perfectly. I actually was in this for a little while, got bored out of it, because I generally, if I get into a stock and for 3 days it doesn't do anything, I think I kept it for 7 days, still did nothing. And of course, just in the last 4 or 5 days, this thing, 6 days, really started going. You had the first big move out here on the 8th. Generally, the way you can tell short squeezes is, one, they don't pull back at all. And two, there's a lot of press that kind of amazingly comes out of nowhere to push a stock higher. Today, $12.11. So this will be the one that got away. Basically a 50%, almost a 50% move in 3D system off those lows back in, what was it? Early January. So, what can you say about that? Sector rotation could be a part of it, but just if you saw this in Boeing, I wouldn't feel any different. It doesn't mean that it's going higher, but the conditions are right. I wouldn't be short Boeing. All of the heavy press in the world hasn't been able to make it break below 330 for a while. Do you get, I got a question here. Do you think it could get back to 320, 319 one last time? It could, but this really looks like someone's in here at 330. They're just going to buy everything they need. And if it is somebody like Buffett, he'll be buying for a while. Of course, he was buying tons of Apple. We'll look at that. Still real no signs of a top in Apple. Could you get back to 305 pretty easily? You could. Options have kind of made this thing look like it was going to go to 325. I'll look at them again tonight, but that kind of still looked like it. And one of the other reasons I think that it's more than likely that Apple can continue another $5 higher into options expiration on Friday is just the massive amount of people that continue to short the stock every day and continue to be wrong. AAPL. Eventually they'll be right. I don't know if they'll have any money. Last 3 days, short percentages for those daily numbers were all 25 or 26%. I don't understand shorting a stock that everybody else wants to short, but does nothing but go higher. Okay, got a bunch of emails here. When BA gets the green light to move out the max jets on back order, do you think that day it can boost the market by 3-5%? I don't know of that. I think it could certainly pop the Dow that much from Hector. So yeah, I think you're going to get one big day in Boeing. The big thing is they've continued to make planes for 8 months. and all those planes are literally ready to go. They update the software. They do a check ride on the thing around the pattern once, and those things are going to start getting delivered. So not only are they going to pop, but there's going to be a lot of movement. And then, of course, we're going to start seeing orders again for them. Okay, what else do we have? Anything on Netflix? We'll look at the usual suspects. Still suspect that we could see Netflix test 350. There's just a couple of gaps up there. You may even see 355. And options expiration's a good time to see that. So yeah, could you see another $10? I think you could. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Wow, the Ford Mustang from Bullitt just sold for $3.74 million. They found it rusting away somewhere in Mexico. They've cleaned it up a bit, but well, an iconic car. Interesting. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. You can call me at 877-927-6648 and tell me I'm all wet, or you like me too. Of course, the things I've been looking at, I don't really see a sign yet that there's something horrible coming. But at the moment, we are testing some of the highs in one, the V&Q, which is the REITs. If the market's going to fall apart, wheels off the wagon, apocalypse, dogs and cats living together, frogs falling from the sky, rivers of blood, all the things that they've been trying to tell us since last summer when they tried to talk us into a recession, or last fall. Yeah, well, they started in the summer, started in August with the talk of nothing but rivers of blood and all death of all our firstborn. We are back here to the November 29th high in the V&Q. These are the REITs. They'll be the most heavily beat up stocks if the markets were going to fall apart. Normally, you find some kind of big signal in that. And why they're a little light, they're not horribly light. When we look at the TLT, up to today on a light volume, this one actually is the weaker looking of the bunch, but it's not anywhere close to giving any kind of signal that I could see that would be significantly longer. Let's see what else we have. So that's it. I mean, those are my kind of canaries in the coal mine right now. The big news was Target didn't do as well as everybody thought it did. You got two big gaps below, maybe even more. Let's take a look at it. You got a third gap down around 75. This thing really advanced on Walmart's projections for Christmas and their earnings. Target didn't do nearly as well, and I have a feeling that it's because they haven't really worked very hard on their e-commerce sales. It filled about half the gap. You've got to look at this at a minimum of filling the entire gap, which take you back to 108, 109, something like that. But I think that's probably fairly decent support in the short term. Maybe they can turn that around or focus it on it. I haven't listened to their earnings call or read the transcript. I'll probably do that tonight. But not much going on. Okay. Got any more emails? Got some more. Okay. Okay. What else do we have? Okay, let's take a look at a handful of others. Looked at Microsoft, looked at that. What else haven't we been looking at? Just some thoughts out there. Yeah. So John wants me to look at Ying. Is it Ying? No, it's, I know it's Yang. Yeah, there's the other one. Is there anything out here that makes me think that there's a big move in China coming? No, could you move here? You don't really have a good signal of anything in this. It's yin, isn't it? Y-I, oh, they put yen, okay. I think they were talking about yen. There we go. Y-I-N-N, the yin, win, and yang. Tested and went through the July 1st high. That was $23.05 with 4 million shares. You spiked it with about 2.7 million shares on the 2nd. I think this is what you're probably talking about. You went above it on the 13th and kind of pulled back. Right now you got 23.50. Any close below 23.05 would be a sell signal on it. China has gone from about, depending on who you want to believe, 6 to 8% over the last 2.5, 3 years of growth to probably something about what we're doing, about 2 or 3%, which reminds me of how everybody was telling me that in the 90s that we should just give up and let Japan run everything, because of course they were just going to put us by the wayside. We should just get our tin cups out and put pencils in it, start selling apples on the corner, because the Japanese were going to own everything. Of course, they bought all of our massively overpriced real estate only for it to blow up in their face. China right now Could that be a similar thing? Well, certainly their banking system is built on sand, but it's so opaque. I'm going to say Japan was 10 times more visible or transparent than we actually see what is happening in China. They also, no one really looking at the books. If they are, they're probably fully roasted, so they're probably not worth anything if you could look at them. But we continue to know some of the things they've done, the horrible loans that they've made, and the outcost for that. So, I mean, if you get a close below it, energy was about 20% lighter on the way up off the August 14th low on yen. So yeah, you just don't have a signal, and that's where you really want to make sure that you either know something else from some other signal, or you wait for a signal in yen, and that would be, for me, a close below 23.05. You never had the volume. That puts you back into the trading range, and you could go back to 19. That's only about $3, $4. Not a bad trade in that, but of course you'd probably want to trade the opposite side of that, which is yang, which is the 3x bear. You haven't had much in that one, but fairly light volume today. Again, a lot of these things look like maybe they could be setting up for next week. I don't see anything that really says weakness this week. Options, like I said, are a little bit bullish this week, but they rolled fairly hard this morning, which is one of the reasons why I exited some of those longer-term trades. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. Hi, nice down day since I sent this yesterday. Here's on the projections from here. ISRG, probably one of the hardest to predict stocks in the stock market. So he's not asking me for a little, Dan. You gapped up, you went sideways for 4 days. Okay, you're back above previous highs. You had volume, you spiked it, but you went right back into the trading range. You really need something below 590 to give some kind of signal. Right now you're at 598. So you need to close below about 590 to give any kind of sell signal. It doesn't say where you're in on this, but we'll be back in a minute.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the tax opportunity zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com. educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we got a question about Beyond Meat. You know, had a nice pop on all the Consumer Electronics Show announcements last week in these Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers and all that stuff. I generally want to, especially in these ones that everybody's talking about, I want the Führer to die down. Führer? Is that the same thing as Hitler? The Führer to pipe down. And, you know, these things. Now, that's a good pattern right there. I could see somebody buying it. You had what? Looks like 20, 25 days of going sideways. This is generally a very good indication that there was somebody under buying it. I just, until a stock's been trading for a couple of years, I hate to make, especially when it's this volatile, when there's this many people involved in it, and it's an emotional decision like Tesla, I tend to shy away from them because they tend to be less predictable. But certainly that is a pattern. I normally call this pattern the Lazarus pattern, which is it just looks like they've been playing dead for a while. At the bottom of the market, pretty good sign that there's a big buyer down there at 70. When this happens at the top, a pretty good indication that someone's getting out, that every time it goes higher, they have a order in to sell. And that's kind of it. But yeah, I think could you see $100 on this? 101. I think you certainly could get back into the day of the 13th on this. And you know what? That may be a nice ABC on the way up. I just don't have enough data because this thing hasn't been around long enough to say. But you know, when you're looking for things, or when I'm looking for things, this kind of just sideways action at a bottom for a long time is what I look at. I guess probably the biggest problem I had with buying Beyond Meat, it's not something I would buy myself. And that makes it, the pattern may be wonderful, but it's very tough for me to look at Beyond Meat and not think of Soylent Green. That's just me. And we have to know our biases. But at the same point, I wouldn't short this thing because I wouldn't buy it. I know other people do. So sometimes this is better to avoid stocks that you have a bias in than to camp out and think you know something that the rest of the market does not know. Okay, what else do we have? Okay. ISRG. Follow-up question on RSG. Weekly puts, the 600s. Again, I'm not a big fan of going into options expiration if you don't have a stock already moving. Going into those, you got 2 days left. Yeah, I mean, you're right on it. You got light volume today. Well, to me, this is more of a gamble than something I can put a number on. My guess would be that this thing's already setting up to expire right at $600 on Friday. But we've got probably a little bit. I mean, I would elect this trade into next week, where it could come back and fill all this gap down to about 590, maybe 585. But I don't see a lot here that says this thing's going to blot. Any close below, to me, any close that I thought would be below this 3x3 would be an indication that this may make its way back to 510, but you just don't have anything. And that's probably the worst part of this entire market. There are a lot of stocks out here look like they could move. There's just no signal yet to pull the trigger. But I think we can get it, especially next week. We get through options expiration, which is 80% bullish by a, let's call it a percent over that 8 days of expiration from going delta neutral to actual expiration. That also gives us a little bit of time that normally we don't have. Generally, you get only a handful of days before you get into fund buying again. This gets you the entire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You almost have 10 days this month before you get anybody doing any fund buying. So when we expire on the 17th, if you're looking for a soft patch in this market, which I'm not forecasting, I'm just saying that the way things are setting up here, we could get it. You could conceivably see, a move, a pullback maybe that could last 10 days into fund buying at the end of the month and still do nothing to the overall bullish nature of this market. I just don't see anything moving rather violently before maybe next week. It's going to take a little while for those patterns to set up. Now, maybe the market just falls apart, but again, I would be willing to listen to any technical analysis signal that someone might have, but I just don't see any of the ones in the ones that I use myself. Okay, what else do we have out here? Okay, another question about Microsoft. The only thing I could say about Microsoft is that they're going to be on Kramer's program either tonight or tomorrow, and that's generally going to bring in a lot of saps. So I can't see this thing going lower anytime soon. There's certainly nothing in the signals out here except light volume today, but I wouldn't be surprised that this expires right at 165 on Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern time in most of the rest of the market. Okay, looked at that. What else do we want to look at? Now let's go to some of the ones in my list. We looked at Target, which was kind of the big mover today. We looked at the Chinese 3X ETFs. Question coming in about Gush. Let's take a look at that. I haven't looked at it for a while. This is the 3X bullish version. Yeah, I mean, you're down on light volume today. I just don't see a lot in this either. Yeah, could you get all the way back to 20, I think is the question. And I take it this means that you were probably long crude. See, I mean, it was such a small bounce percentage-wise. Let's do this. Okay. Yeah, we'll be back in a minute.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as the #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you'd invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're getting ready to wrap up the show, so we're going to go to volumes and other stuff. So yeah, we got gold at 1555.95. That's been a nice move off of about 1550. So you're up about $5 or $6 on the day. What else do we have? Volumes 4.8. So not that exciting. But, of course, expiration on Friday, earnings tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, and Friday morning. So we may be in that hurry up and wait mode. What else do we have that I wanted to look at out here? Dollar index is down 13 cents, no big deal. Hanging out right around 97 at 96, 960. But we came off a little bit of that high, but it just looks like the Treasury and the Fed are working fairly hard to make sure that it stays around that 97, 98 area. When we go to the indexes, we're up 10 points on the S&P cash, 151 on the Dow, NASDAQ's up 27, Russell's up 16. So is there a lot to report out here? No. Could we get 27 points higher by Friday? Not a big deal out here. More than likely 80%, we probably hit 23.30, excuse me, 23.20. Maybe we pull back to 3,300. I think the action's going to be next week. It's just everything looks like it's going to take a little time to settle up. Maybe we'll get a kind of a small double top or something. Then we'll start pulling back and selling on the news. Something like that probably going to set up. I just don't see a lot of money to the upside at the moment. But I am not short either. Joan, I will give you a call. And what else is going on? That's about it. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.